So let's go to something that's crazy. All right. Recently, news broke of a very strange story where a Kansas man had asked a judge to let him engage in a sword fight with his ex-wife. Trial by combat. Okay. Now, this is David Ostrom, who lives in Kansas, and he was in a court filing, or he was in court, and filed on January 3rd that his former wife, Bridget Ostrom, and her attorney, Matthew Hudson, had, quote, destroyed him legally, and that he wants the chance to, quote, rend their souls from their bodies. Rend them souls. So, all right. So Ostrom claimed that the judge had the power to let the parties resolve their disputes on the field of battle legally. Oof. Talk about extreme measures, man. Also, going old school, right? In fact, Ostrom added in his filing that trial by combat has, quote, never been explicitly banned or restricted as a right in these United States. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it's not on the books, but murder is. So now what he asked is that he asked for the judge to grant him 12 weeks time so he could secure some Japanese samurai swords. So, okay. Look, 12 weeks, I guess seems about right. Because you got to consider shipping from Japan and, craftsmanship and all that. I mean, but still. Oh, and some rudimentary training. Because, of course, you got to know what you're doing, right? If you're going to get into a sword fight, you got to know when to parry and when to strike. But wow. Okay. So now Ostrom said, quote, I think I've met Mr. Hudson's absurdity with my own absurdity, adding that his former wife could choose Hudson to act as her champion. Well, I mean, of course. I mean, I learned that from Game of Thrones, that if you have a trial by combat and you're not a good combatant, you could always appoint someone else to fight in your stead. And if they win, well, then congratulations. I don't know what happens. Now, Hudson argued. Now, this is a lawyer. He's like, no, I'm not in favor of this. He said that because a duel could end in death, such ramifications likely outweigh those of property tax and custody issues, which is what the whole issue is about. Property tax and custody issues. Who pays the property tax? Who gets custody of the kids? That's insanity. Hudson also asked the judge to reject the request for trial by combat. And you want to know what happened? Well, the judge, he punted. No decision. Judge Craig Dreismeyer said in his own filing on Monday that he will not be issuing decisions anytime soon, citing irregularities with both sides' motions and responses. Quote, until the proper procedural steps to initiate a court proceeding are followed, this court will take no further action considering any motion, objection, or petition filed by either party at this time. What? So that doesn't rule out trial by combat, right? I mean, it doesn't say you can. Also doesn't say you can't. I'm just saying. So that is probably the strangest response to a marital issue, or I guess dealing with an ex-wife, that's the craziest I've ever seen. Like, you got to be either really sure of yourself or very, very desperate or possibly insane to try to ask for a trial by combat in 2020, especially with samurai swords. Or you must really, really despise your ex-wife while also having to love anime and fedoras at the same time. Sorry, guys. For any of you who like anime and fedoras, my apologies. Couldn't resist. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.